What's up, guys? You already know what it is from the title. Jim Bennington. Let's get right into this one. A lot of heat going in Vancouver. Jim Bennington was trending on Twitter last night, I think. Fire Bennington, I believe, was the hashtag. Lots of heat going on over there. Vancouver fans definitely want his head for some reason. Okay, for the reason I understand. So let me just break this down for you guys. Pretty much, Troy Stecher and Chris Tanev walked away, and instead he got Nate Schmidt, whose cap hit is $6 million. And people are rightfully upset. I see why they're upset. Rightfully upset that, hey, what are you doing? You're ruining this team. And we're not going to have enough money to sign players like Hughes, Pedersen, whatever. I don't know exactly, but all the young players who are going to be free agents because of Nate Schmidt's contract. But let me tell you guys why this happened and why Jim Bennington, this whole situation happened. Reportedly, before Tyson Barrie signed with Edmonton, Vancouver was willing to offer him $6 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
He signed for,
I think 3.8, 3.9?
3.75 in Edmonton. Vancouver was offering him 6 with term. So not a 1-year deal.
Yeah, a lot of 1-year deals this.
Yeah, because of the whole cap situation. But yeah, so that's what was going on, and I think this is why he did not sign Troy Stecher. I think he was waiting, and he expected to sign Tyson Barrie. He was
potentially Nate Schmidt? Or no, one.
No,
right?
I think he was just he thought he was going to sign Barrie at 6,
because you can get both. Yeah.
And therefore was going to he didn't. That's why he didn't offer Chris Tanev or Troy Stecher, because as soon as he offered them any money and they accepted, they would obviously
not get Barrie.
They would not be able to get Barrie
or Schmidt, right?
Right, which I think is stupid on his part, because all right, let's just break down why. Because I'll say this, he did not learn from the Toronto situation at all. Why did Tyson Barrie not work with the Leafs? Why? Because Tyson Barrie is one of those kind of power play specialists, and when he first came here, he was not on the first line.
Exactly, it was Morgan Riley,
which is fair because Morgan Riley was a Norris Trophy candidate the season before,
or should have been,
arguably
at least.
Yeah. Either way, Morgan Riley was
70
putting up
points.
So you can't see. I could see why he was not there, but either way,
same situation in Vancouver.
He comes.
Hughes, right?
He comes here. He comes to Toronto, and he doesn't get put on the first power play. And then that was a terrible start, and he never really recovered that well in Toronto. He was never that number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
makes sense, yeah.
And I think he felt it, and I think he said it as well. He knew he wants to be the number one guy. He wants to be that power play leader, power play quarterback, and let's be honest, 5-on-5, he's not the greatest, right? And so if the Leafs you're not using him or you're not using him on the power play. You're kind of, what are you using him for? Like, why is he on your team, right? He's not that TJ Brody type of guy, and so I think a similar situation here happened in Vancouver.
Quinn Hughes
is your number one guy on the power play. He's your power play quarterback, and Tyson Barrie realized that, and he said, listen,
I'm going to take a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, I'll take a discount for a shorter term, prove myself this year.
Play with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Play on that power play line, absolutely tear it up. I'll do that. And I'll leave money on the table, and I'll sign a bigger contract next year, which makes sense because he learned from the situation. He said, okay, I know that Vancouver's not the right fit for me. Mm-hmm. He said, look, Vancouver clearly is another Toronto. Right? I might get paid, but it's not going to be fun for him because he's not going to do as well. And he knows that, and he's going to get criticism. And he knew it.
Very smart on him.
Very smart on him. He learned from his mistakes. Now, Jim Bennington clearly did not. He did not learn from the Toronto situation at all. And I'm here criticizing him, but I think he realizes. I think right now he's realizing how big of a mistake it was to play your cards on the table for Tyson Barrie. Say you signed Tyson Barrie. It's not worth it to lose Chris Tanev and Troy Stecher.
It's not.
At the trade deadline, I would easily take Tanev and Stecher for Tyson Barrie as a Leafs fan. I would have taken that trade all day.
Easily.
And I think Colorado fans would have taken that trade as well.
It's like, well, if you look at Schmidt too, right? $6 million.
Yeah.
Him or Stetcher and Tanev are about the same price, so it's a 2-for-1.
Exactly. And listen, I think Schmidt makes a lot more sense for Vegas. I mean, for Vancouver. I think Vancouver fans should be happy that.
Yeah, he won't be your number one Quinn Hughes. Like, he won't be that. But he plays this good style.
And that's the thing. He doesn't need to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Doesn't need to be.
Like, if he's not on your number one power play unit, that's okay because he's actually good at 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
That's something Tyson Berry is kind of not. He's not bad on 5-on-5. But he's not. You kind of need to shelter him. Yeah. Towards the end of this season in Toronto,
you need that defensive guy beside him if you're gonna have him.
Towards the end of the season in Toronto, he was on the number one power play unit, but on the third pairing, right? Mm-hmm. And even when Morgan Riley was injured, he wasn't getting big minutes on 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
So he clearly knew that the situation matters more than the money. The team that I signed for, and he's like, okay, this is one of those. Unlike Taylor Hall. I kind of agree with this a little more with him saying, I'm going to bet on myself for a year because for him it makes sense. He had a terrible year and he's going to literally Edmonton is the team for him. Edmonton is the team for him to tear it up. And I don't know if he'll be an Edmonton Oiler that long just because their cap situation. I don't think he'll play past this year. Mm-hmm. I think if Edmonton could re-sign him, they would. But I think he wants to get signed. I think he wants 8 for 8. I think he wants a long deal.
I agree.
At the start, when he first came to Toronto, like before he even started playing, it was rumored after the season ends he was going to go Vancouver 8 for 8. And because of the bad season in Toronto, he obviously suffered some money there. I think the term might have not been great in Vancouver. I don't know what it was, but listen, that's why I think he did not sign with Vancouver. And that's why I think Jim Bennington did not sign Chris Tanev and Troy Stecher. And yes, that's stupid. But I'm going to say this. You guys literally rebuilded your team in Vancouver. You guys have a playoff win, a series win. That's something that we cannot say we have seen. Last time the Leafs have won a playoffs was 2004. Just a playoff series win, right? So you guys rebuild it quick. Your core is beautifully young. Which pretty much means they can score and they're young, and right now they're cheap. They'll get paid for sure, but right now they're good and young.
Just like 3 years for us, 3 years ago for us.
Exactly. Listen, and trust me, when it's time for them to get paid, and they get paid, you'll see why we're paying so much for Nylander, Marner, Tavares, and Matthews.
Yeah,
you'll see. And I think you guys understand this, and that's why you guys are mad about the Schmidt thing. Mm-hmm. But say they didn't sign Schmidt. Say they didn't trade for Schmidt. What do? Because he already played all his cards on the table for Tyson Berry. That was a mistake. But can you really fire a general manager off of one mistake?
The mistake that also didn't even happen. Like, he didn't come.
No, but like the mistake of playing your cards on the table for Tyson Berry. But you can't fire him for one mistake. I know you guys are pissed, but
at least they do get the defenseman that plays a better role for their team.
I think yes, and I also think you should see this through. You have a good team heading into next year. Your rebuild was quick and effective. You guys never finished last, and yet you still rebuilded very well. So give him points. Give him points where points are due. Criticize him for sure on situations like this, but give him credit for what he's done. You know, you guys never finished last. You guys were never a terrible. You guys were never the worst team, and yet still you have superstars playing for you right now. Mm-hmm. So give him credit there, and your future's bright. I think you guys are overreacting a little bit with the what's his name, Jim Bennington. But I'll say this.
Bennington.
I keep saying Bennington. But I'll say this. Given the chance, I think we'll fix his mistake. I think he'll be able to re-sign everyone. He wouldn't offer $6 million for Tyson Berry if he thought he couldn't, and he wouldn't trade for $6 million Nate Schmidt if he thought he couldn't. I think things will work out fine in Vancouver. But yeah, that's just my perspective on it. What do you think?
I think I agree with all that, for real.
Wow.
We've said
expert analysis over here. Just like
I want to say one thing though. Do we say that Vancouver has downgraded on D or upgraded? Because
downgraded.
Yeah, we gotta say that because
Nate Schmidt, one of my favorite defensemen, but
yeah,
we lost Chris Tanev, Troy Stetcher.
Exactly. I think we'd rather have both.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
But listen, honestly, Nate Schmidt. If you said last year Chris Tanev and Troy Stetcher for Nate Schmidt, that would be a more fair deal than just for Tyson Barrie. Nate Schmidt is a legitimate number one defenseman, and you'll have him playing number one or number two. That's how good your D-core is right now. And Chris Tanev, I think he's a number 3 guy, maybe a number 2. And Troy Stetcher, from what I hear, if he could make the top 4, it would be nice, right? So don't overvalue your guys. But I think you guys have a good team. I think you'll have a better team this year than you did last year, just because of the experience you guys have got in the playoffs. Thatcher Demko, he's gonna play a lot more games. I think you'll be very solid in goal, especially with Holtby there as well. Again, you guys are a set team. I think you guys need to relax a bit when contract time comes for those guys. If he screws that up, then I understand. But right now is not the time to fire him. That's just my opinion.